Hi, this is Billie Beene here with another special report. Today's date, September 13, 2022. This is a new YouTube channel for me. I have a subscribe button in the lower right corner of my screen. Thanks for like, subscribe, and share. Episode 397. Russia to move 15,000 to retake Kharkiv. And Russia has this new objective, the Zelensky regime out. And Russia is going to change from an SMO, special military operation, to a CTO, counter-terrorism operation. So, let's get to it. Some of my sources are God in the Bible, Patriot subscribers, Israeli News Live, Stephen Benoon, Alexander Makuras, A Christeferou, Military Summary, Scott Ritter, New Atlas, Smoothie12, that's Andre Martnanov, Monkey Werx, and Plus. Okay, in the past few days in Ukraine, we've seen different things going on, and I'll show you. So, I'll draw you a map. It's easier to see it that way. All right. So here is Ukraine. We have Luhansk, Donetsk. This is the Donbass area. We have a front line that's something like 1,200 kilometers long, or about 900 miles. We have Odessa, Kherson. We have Kharkiv up here. We have Crimea. Okay. So, in the past few days, today is September 13. So from about 9/11 to 9/12 or so, we've had Ukraine went into Russia, Belgorod, and take out power plants, Russian power plants. Likewise, we saw Russia take out 3 power plants here, ostensibly to stop Ukraine from using trains that ran on electricity to move troops from Kharkiv down to a new front for Ukraine, Mariupol. Now, we have Christeferou is talking about Russia hit the power plants. Yes. Ukraine hit the power plants in Russia, and Russia hit the power plants inside Ukraine. And that Ukraine has taken the Kharkiv area, which is roughly 1,000 square miles. And Russia retreated to Donetsk. Yeah. So now, Israeli News Live, Stephen Benoon, formerly with the CIA, now as a ministry, but regularly gets updates from the Pentagon, has this information coming from inside Donetsk, right here, from Russell Bentley. Russell is originally a Texan. He's American. Now I guess he's a dual citizen, American Ukraine. He's married and lives in Donetsk. Okay. He's saying now that Russia is moving 15,000 troops from Donetsk to retake Kharkiv. And so this came out last night, so September 12th. Okay. And also, Israeli News Live, Stephen Benoon says there are a force of 1,500 Chechen forces to also join Russia in this Donbass area. Okay, New Atlas is giving some information about the losses, and we have other sources too, talking about the Ukraine losses. Okay, in Kherson, New Atlas is saying it was 3 to 5 brigades, or about 20,000. We also had corroborating information from Andrei Martnanov, who is a retired Russian military analyst. And then he's saying in Kharkiv, the losses, so in Kherson, the losses were about 20,000. In Kharkiv, the losses are about 12,000. And Atlas is saying that since February to September, the Ukraine losses are about 71% of their total force, 21 brigades, which is about 100,000 troops. And that after, he's also reporting after Ukraine took this area and the Russian troops retreated, the Ukraine troops tried to take Donetsk, but Russia repelled them. Now, Scott Ritter is bringing this out, that among the losses for Ukraine since the beginning of this special military operation in February, that the officers who have been killed or wounded is 60%. So I guess the officer class is dramatically down for the Ukraine military. Okay, Alexander Makaras, a London-based journalist, is saying, he's giving more. He's saying that at Kherson, Ukraine had 30,000, and their losses were 6,000 to 8,000, and that at Kharkiv, the Ukraine troops were 15,000 and they lost 3,000. So there's just more numbers we're having. But we can see the Ukraine force is large. Now, Scott Ritter, Marine retired military analyst, is saying that the U.S. is, he's saying that the CIA had a database made up of the international troops trained by the U.S. military special forces, and we had that corroborating information that just came out from Judy Byington that at least 10% of the 5 million immigrants crossing the U.S. southern border have been trained in CIA military farms in Central and South America. Same thing. So the CIA had a database of all these special forces, the U.S. military, and the American people are paying for all of this, have trained in nations all over the world. Now, the U.S. government is currently paying for special forces, these special international mercenaries are receiving 3-year contracts from the Ukraine government, but it's being paid for by the U.S. government. When does a proxy war stop being a proxy war? It's when you are directly involved. Yes, and the same as for NATO, because a lot of these international mercenaries come out of these other nations, NATO. And Scott Ritter is reporting that inside Ukraine are hundreds of thousands of these international mercenaries working directly with NATO. When does a proxy war stop being a proxy war? When you're directly involved in it with your troops and directing the action. So, all right, now, Scott Ritter is bringing this out also. Russia has taken negotiations off of the table. No more negotiations. And they have added a new objective, and that is to take out the Zelensky regime. And now we find, and Scott Ritter's bringing out this point, what's going to be transpiring in the next few months. And he's declaring, and other sources, not military, but weather, are saying that by December in Europe, people are going to be freezing to death because they've cut off the oil and gas that they formerly had from Russia. Their military leader, their government leaders cut off the people from having enough fuel to warm their houses in this upcoming winter. Yeah. So we can see, and we have other reports, no wonder it's believed that by October 1, when the weather starts to get really cold, that there would be martial law in Germany and England, and possibly other European nations when the people begin to question their leaders. Okay, so now all of this is going on, and we have this report coming, the 15,000 reported by Russell Bentley, coming out of Donetsk to retake Kharkiv, and so now we have that information from Monkey Werx from yesterday or the day before, that there had been like 6 flights to Moscow from different points, and Monkey's assessment was that, some kind of meeting is going on. Okay, so here's the product of the meeting of the Russian Parliament, and they are changing the special military operation to a counter-terrorism operation. And what this does is Russia now legally can bring in more troops, different types of weapons, bigger and newer types, perhaps, that we're not familiar with. So that's going on. So that concludes my update for Ukraine. It looks like it's going to get, the fighting is going, Russia, with their new designation of counterterrorism, will be bringing in more troops, more planes, artillery, bigger and faster missiles, and will escalate the military activities are going to go up. Russia has taken negotiations off of the table, and they've also added a new objective, and that's to take out the Zelensky regime, which we would reasonably interpret that Russia's going to take over all of Ukraine, including Kiev, up to the border of Belarus, Poland, and other nations, and part of Moldova. So that concludes my special report, this Ukraine update, and we need to be in prayer for both the people of Russia and the people of Ukraine. I love you, and I'll see you soon.